Even though I don't play, I think it's important to bring something special to each game because each game day is different than a practice day, is different than off days, and if you don't make each one special, it kind of loses its value. And I like to have fun, and game days are, the lights are on, people are watching, and although I'm not on the court, I've found through the 4 years that people still are watching, and to go after the game and not have played, and people are saying, I really like, how you were cheering, I really liked that huge jump you did, or that funny thing you did. And so I've realized that people really are watching. It doesn't matter how you're portraying yourself and how much you're into the game, even if it's not making a basket. At the beginning of each game, I do a handshake with each of the starting 5 players, and I also do a special cheerleading dance with the cheerleaders during the intro video. Actually, over the past couple years, I've been learning the dance and perfecting it, and I actually learned the dance from the actual cheerleaders last year. I became good friends with a lot of them, and once I got the moves down, I could do it every time. I think I've been doing it maybe a year strong now, all the way through, so it's a lot of fun. When each player comes out, when their name is called for the intros, have a special handshake. Each person's is a little different. We have people like Alyssa Thomas, who has had the same handshake for all 4 years, and it's pretty simple. Just 2 hand claps and a little chest bump, and it's very subtle. And while others are more outgoing, like Alicia's, so we do actually a handshake from the Fresh Prince. And so that's a lot of fun. That says a lot about who Alicia is and how kind of her mood and how funny she can be. And then others who are relatively new, like Lexi, we have a little inside joke about the Hunger Games, so we actually do a little chest bump with the District 12 sign up. And so that's a lot of fun. I can't help but laugh every time. So yeah, each person has something a little different that I usually make them come up with, and so it says a lot about who they are. So last year with Tiana Hawkins' handshake, I can't even call it a handshake, it was a explosion of a chest bump in the air, and it always had people a little nervous that she was gonna knock me over and give me a concussion possibly. But that was always one of my favorite ones, because it's kind of usually, she was the last one to be called, and I had to kind of sprint up and jump as high and hard as I can so that I wasn't off-put in the air. So that was a lot of fun, and I think it kept people on their toes in suspense of me getting injured every game. I tend to watch a lot. Also, I use an example with band too. I'm always I feel like I'm more in tune to the band, the songs the band plays and stuff like that than the average person, just because my experience with music and how much I like it, and kind of all the other components of game day. And so sometimes I find myself I was really concerned when the DJ wasn't here today. He was always here, and little subtle things like that, like marketing. What did marketing do to promote this game, and what are the little things they're doing for the fans and stuff like that? So I find that I'm really in tune to the things that are going on around the game as well as the game. I notice a lot about the band, always which songs they play during which parts. I know that they always stop at the 6-minute mark so that the guy can say his spiel about if there's an emergency and all that kind of stuff. I know trying to pick up on the names, but a lot of the songs, I know sometimes they play the longer ones, not during timeouts because they only have a certain amount of time and stuff like that. And even also, because I played the tuba for 4 years, I always listen for the lower parts of songs. I'm not usually humming the melody. I'm usually singing kind of the tuba, lower brass part of the song. So I tend to notice a lot about the band because I'm just listening. And I really wish I was still a part of something like that. And in terms of the game, always the line of camera people that are near us. I'm very in tune to that, and the type of angles they're trying to get, the type of plays when they're trying to click their cameras off, versus people in the air versus the timeout versus that sort of thing. So especially the regular ones too, I see that kind of what they're going for, and even Greg, the guy that does most of the ones for Terps, I like to see so I always like to check afterwards and see oh, I remember that play, I remember where he was and how he was doing that. Yeah. Definitely sitting across, I see the people that get courtside seats, so the regulars versus some people that are new, or I'm oh, that person looks like they brought their daughter that day or something like that. And definitely today, I noticed there are a lot of teams there, versus, just normal families or stuff like that, kind of the atmosphere, a lot of groups, a lot of kids AAU teams and stuff like that. And so And then always looking for people that I know or that I recognize or that I see all the time. And so, are they here today? Yeah, they're here. Or who they bring? I could go on. Last year, we unfortunately had a lot of injuries, 3 ACL tears, and it really bumped our numbers down to eight players. And so I had the opportunity to get in the game when guards were getting tired or we were in foul trouble, and that was a lot. It was often. Being that 8th player off the bench was a whole different role, something that I've never had to take on. And so the adrenaline of playing, I remember my first basket as a freshman, like I ran right past my teammate that was trying to give me a high five because I was just like, I just scored. And so it's like, I don't even notice people 2 feet from me when I'm in the game.
Austin's first 3 of her career.
I think it would say a lot about me if I only got up or only got excited because I was playing, and you would be able to see that drastic difference. And so to kind of keep that consistent, I feel like that I am always ready. And making game day specials, like those are the special things to me too. The band, the cheerleaders, the fans, all that other stuff, the camera people. Like, it's fun to notice it. There's a lot going on in the Comcast Center during games. A lot more than between those lines. A lot more. On senior night, when I hopefully have the opportunity to start the game, it's got me thinking a lot about who's going to be at the other end of that line doing the handshakes, and so it also has me thinking about what I'm going to do. And I've seen through the different starting lineups through this year and the past 4 years, that moment of when they call your name on the loudspeaker and you come out and everyone's cheering for you, what that moment feels like. And so to kind of be on the other side of it, I'm really excited for that, but a little nervous. What am I going to do? I want it to be something awesome. Everyone's like, yeah, that's what she would have done if she would have started all those years.
Well, Brionna had an awesome game, which everyone that was here or saw on TV knows. She was just a force to be reckoned with all night, and no one really had an answer for her. And this team talks a lot about being ready when your number's called, and her number was called, and she absolutely was ready with her first career double-double. A lot of times when the game's on TV likes to do a live interview right after the games. They wanted to do that tonight, and they made sure to tell me with about 3 minutes left in the game that they wanted to talk to Brionna. So I grabbed her right after the game. And usually when you tell players that they have to do a live interview after a game, their first thought is, oh my God, I'm so sweaty, I don't look good. So I grabbed her a towel and put my arm around her, walked over with her, and just kind of gave her an idea of what they're going to ask her and how it's only going to be about 30 seconds. It's not going to be that long. It's just going to be about the great game you had. And I knew she'd be nervous because, we do a post-game press conference after every game, and she hadn't done that yet. So this was really like her first experience with the media.
She just told me who I was talking to and kind of what to say and how the question was going to ask, how it was going to work.
At times I thought we defended really well, but we had a great inside presence, obviously with what Brionna Jones and Alyssa Thomas gave us, and just a tremendous inside-outside attack tonight.
But hey, she was great, and she did a really good job.
And Brionna Jones, 6'3" freshman, is making a difference. She's with Crystal.
Great game, Brionna.
A tremendous game.
She just asked me what we had to do, what we did what helped us win the game, and about my double-double and how I worked to get that and how the team played a part in that.
Most of these kids, they don't have a ton of media coverage. Sometimes here and there they may have done some, because some stations cover high schools, but they don't have it like they have it here, where we have big time stations and media outlets here night in and night out, and for practices and all kinds of stuff. But, it takes practice. We try to give them talking points after the games and before every interview. We try to give them an idea of what the interview's about so they can kind of gather their thoughts. Some kids are naturals. Some kids are a little shyer.
I think I just went out there and worked hard, and my team had my back, and they were ready to play with me, and we were all working together.
Bree did a really good job. Bree, she was a little shy, but she did great, and I'm sure she'll be in there plenty more times in her 4 years. Well, Alyssa, she's pretty much a media staple now for our post-game press conferences. She pretty much has to go every game, and that's just kind of how it is. And it's been that way for quite a while, easily a couple years, probably even since she got here. So she's had a lot of practice. So when she first got here, she would always give like 3-word answers. She was famous for saying things like, yeah, I tried hard, or, well, I just shot well and my teammates found me, things like that that don't really give great quotes or great sound bites. So, we talked about certain things. I tried to give her we always look at a stat sheet after a game, and I try to give them some points, like look at your assist to turnover ratio, look at your points in the paint, look at your bench points, whatever the story of the game may be, so they kind of have an idea of where their strengths were. So Alyssa now is like the leader in the media room, and she kind of helps the other kids. But she likes to laugh at the freshmen, not laugh at them, but she likes to tease the freshmen when they are shy, and I have to remind her that she was pretty shy when she got here. So tonight, one of her hometown stations up in Harrisburg decided to make the trip down to see her play, and they've done that throughout her career. Once or twice a year, they'll come down to check her out and get some highlights, because I know everyone up there loves her. So her hometown crew came down tonight, and after her interview, they told her that she has improved immensely.
You said how you're not as shy as you used to be. That interview was by far the best interview that I've ever sat down. What I see different about her is not so much on the court, because we knew how great she was, and we just kind of saw that part of her already. But the way she interacts with people, she's finally kind of got out of her shell. She actually mentioned that to me, that she's not as shy as she used to be, and you can tell in her interviews she gives you more than the 2 or 3 second dreaded sound bite. So it's nice.
I take a little bit of credit, not a lot, but it's mostly her. But I take a little bit.
She should get no credit at all.
A little bit.
Let's go, Maryland!
I think that, leading up to the game, we felt we knew the team, we knew Notre Dame, we felt we were prepared. We just didn't look sure of what we wanted to do offensively. And it was like something, we were just waiting for somebody, one of the players on the court, to make a play. One of the things that Alyssa Thomas brings ever since she's been here is a competitive spirit.
With her slow start with Notre Dame, Coach challenged her. Coach has a unique way to push AT's button, and when that button gets pushed, it's a phenomenon to watch, and really wheels her team to win. So, which is really special to see for anyone. She played 40 minutes. Yes, she played the whole 40 minutes. It's tough to play 40 minutes. I mean, it's really tough to ask somebody to play 20 minutes a game, but for her to play 40 and to give that type of production is very special. We asked her to rebound. She rebounded.
And one!
We asked her to play point guard. She played point guard. We asked her to play, shooting guard, and she went out and shot the ball for us. Other players get comfortable when she starts playing well. So as far as how she dished the ball for assists and rebounds and putbacks, we all feed off that, and our players did too, from Alicia to Lexi to Brene. All of them played well and stepped in and did a nice job.
I think she has a big voice, and I think that's something Coach Freeze has worked with her a lot. It's been neat to see her progression from when she got here on campus to now, where she is now. Obviously as a player, she's gotten better every year, but as a person, as a student athlete, and being able to be comfortable walking into the offices and walking in everybody's office and just sit down and chat, she wouldn't have done that 3 years ago. She'd come in when you asked her to come in, but now she comes in and doesn't leave, and she'll sit down and chat.
Even though we lost the game, Alyssa Thomas proved to us and to the nation, since the game is on national television, she proved she's the best player in the country. There's no one that can stop her. I mean, she performed against the top 2 teams in the country, UConn and Notre Dame, and she proved that she was really, really good in both of those games.
Wow. I think even though we lost that game, obviously we know that we were right there with one of the best teams in the country and had an opportunity to win the game. Didn't get stops when we needed to make stops. That's it. But even though we lost, we're going to get better.
the great way as a team is to continue to keep on fighting.
When I look around this locker room, I'm really proud at what you guys did tonight.
Even though we lost, we understand what we have to do now. And to take a loss in January, the end of January, obviously no one wants to do that. But if it can help us in March and April, then it's part of the journey that we're in.
Over here, you got chin-ups, okay? 2 sets of 6.
My name is Katie Fowler. I'm the Assistant Director of Basketball Performance here at the University of Maryland. This is my second season with Kyle Tarp. He oversees both programs.
Katie's awesome. She came in last year when we came in as freshmen, and I think she stepped the program up a lot. She has high expectations, but she knows how to have fun with it too. She's not gonna be mean and hardcore. She's more fun, hardcore. Make sure you're getting your stuff done, but if you're getting it done, you can have fun with it. And I think she makes us all a lot better and brings out a lot of different things in each of us.
At Maryland, the vision here is we're trying to separate ourselves from other sports performance or strength and conditioning programs, and we love the term performance because we think that performance encompasses not only strength, but speed, recovery, nutrition, the mental side of the game, which we're tapping into this season. There's so many different things that go into creating a better athlete. And so we feel like our job here is to find out which route, which avenue to take for each one of our players. And in turn, we've created kind of an environment that's gonna help foster that growth for each athlete. Another lens that we use is at the end of the day, we're basketball performance coaches. We're not coaching track and field athletes. We're not coaching football athletes. So how can the knowledge that we have, how can we apply it to our athlete, knowing that they need to go out and compete on the basketball floor?
And we're not just lifting a bunch of barbell weights and bench press and squatting. We do a lot of stuff with the basketball in here.
When we're lifting, we're doing stuff that's basketball related. We'll always do rebounding kind of drills while we're lifting. We'll do square up drills. Coach Atkins is always in here harping on basketball kind of stuff. And I think that it just really is, it's not just about being strong, but it's about being basketball kind of strong.
And basketball is an amazing game, and there's so many different movement patterns, and it's such a fluid game. And the way we play here at Maryland is very fast, and it's a very attractive game to watch because you're going to need to be very physical, and you need to be able to change directions quickly, and you need to be able to guard for 40 minutes. So that's our job here, is to prepare our kids to play that type of game, that style of play. That's what we love about it, is we bring that basketball flavor to it.
I think definitely, especially this summer and this coming into this whole season, I definitely worked a lot on rebounding and going up strong to get the ball, and I think that it's definitely correlated to the games, and I think it's all going into it, and I think being low and strong is a lot that we've worked on as posts in the weight room, so I think that it's definitely helped a lot.
As a freshman coming in, how valuable is that to already get a head start, a foot ahead, understanding, this is how Coach Freeze is gonna want you to come into practice every day. So if we can incorporate that in June, July, August, coming into September, before they're even had spent very much time with the coaching staff at all, they're already ahead of the game, and that for her, it's so refreshing to see, because she can walk out of the corner and she can coach. Going into this summer, I could list off all the kids that have come through this program, from Tiana Hawkins to Katie Ratan to Melina Howard, that have really gone to Alyssa Thomas. Everybody, they've gone above and beyond in terms of the buy-in, coming in every day and believing in the information we're giving them, and going hard in workouts and working at a level that is expected of an athlete that comes into this program. And it's been really neat to see, even this summer, you look at the equation that we had coming in. You had a senior class with tremendous leadership. You had 4 kids coming back from significant injuries that were healthy and ready to go. And then you have these 4 freshmen coming in that were just excited. They bring a whole nother life to the team. And so you think about all those variables, and coming into summer workouts, you knew that there was going to be something special. 2 kids that really stuck out to me this summer have been Brionna Jones and Katie Ratan, just in terms of how they've really bought in, changed their bodies. I'll throw Melina Howard into that. They came in and we challenged them. this is what you need to do to play at this level.
I never lifted weights before I came to Maryland, but through working out with Katie, I lost 30 pounds since I've been here, and I think it's great. I think it's great that I lost 30 pounds in like 7 months. So just looking forward to keep working hard and seeing the rest of it fall off.
Bree made, the commitment to be able to get in here this summer, coming off of an ACL injury where she's not even a year out yet. And I got in here for the rehab and then got here with Katie to really change everything, change, her nutrition, her diet. She's lost a tremendous amount of weight. And then really to be able to get her body in terms of a strength part to be able to be ready for conference play. So credit Bree, she's worked every single day. She does rehab with Megan Rogers, our trainer, to be able to get herself in terrific shape.
These kids are great basketball players. They have great physical attributes, but one thing I see too is that their mentalities have changed. Now they walk in and they've got this like swag about them, and they've trained and they put in the time. They've done the extra workouts. They've gone above and beyond. They've pushed all their walls down. They walk in, they own the room, and that's what I love about it is that confidence, and so that's what's truly special about it.
Get me out of here.
Libby, you're on another show. You know that show on about Maryland women's basketball? You've never? Yes, you have. You've been on there, Libby. I think you were featured in the first episode this season. Libby, I would love to go to lunch. No one ever asked me to go to lunch, and I'm on under the show right now, and someone's calling to ask me to go to lunch. Is this rigged? Come on. Am I on candid camera?